What's up, everybody? I'm Andrew Mahone, professional Pokemon trading card game player and content creator for Tricky Jim on Twitch and YouTube. I just got back from Washington, D.C., where I was able to compete in my 5th consecutive Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships. I had an incredible time, met a lot of great people, and got to see some powerful new Tag Team Pokemon GX in action. Undoubtedly, the most successful Pokemon at this year's World Championships was Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX from Unified Minds, capturing 2 of the top 8 placements in the Masters Age Division and winning the entire tournament at the hands of Henry Brand from Australia. Henry was able to use Mewtwo and Mew's perfection ability to copy the attacks of powerful Pokemon GX from in the discard pile and also on his bench. The most popular target for Mewtwo and Mew was Reshiram and Charizard GX, whose Flare Strike and Double Blaze GX attacks can deal huge amounts of damage to the defending Pokemon, which is necessary. You may notice these Pokemon have a gigantic amount of hit points. 270 HP is quickly becoming the new normal in the Pokemon trading card game. Flare Strike deals 230 damage for 3 fire and a colorless, and Double Blaze GX is capable of dealing 300 damage to the defending Pokemon if it has 3 extra fire energy attached. Getting fire energy on the Pokemon in this deck is no problem at all, thanks to the new supporter from Unbroken Bonds, Welder, which allows you to attach 2 fire energies to a Pokemon from your hand and draw 3 cards in the same turn. Another popular target for Mewtwo and Mew is Latios GX, also from Unified Minds. Latios' Tag Purge attack deals 120 damage and reads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Tag Team Pokemon. Some decks are made up entirely of Tag Team Pokemon. I'm looking at you, Gardevoir and Sylveon. This could be a very powerful attack option for protecting your Pokemon against opposing tag teams, while also giving Mewtwo and Mew time to build up energy on itself to perform powerful Flare Strike attacks as well as Double Blaze GX attacks. If Mewtwo and Mew were to find itself squared up against smaller Pokemon, like say the Pidgeottos from Isaiah Williams' top 8 deck from the World Championships, Espeon and Deoxys is a great Pokemon for Mewtwo and Mew to copy with Cross Division GX, allowing you to place 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. If you have 3 extra energy attached to Espeon and Deoxys, you can place 20 damage counters. That's enough to knock out 3 Pidgeottos in one turn, taking multiple prizes on smaller Pokemon. This attack is a great option for finishing off threats on the bench that Mewtwo and Mew may have missed earlier in the game, and also great for preying on smaller Pokemon in non-GX focused decks. Speaking of finishing off Pokemon on the opponent's side of the field, both Masters finalist players decided to include the new Naganadel GX from Unified Minds in their lists. Naganadel's Venom Shot attack makes a perfect target for Mewtwo and Mew's perfection, allowing Mewtwo to discard 2 energy from itself to deal 170 damage wherever it wants on the opponent's side of the field. Great for knocking out opposing Dedenne GX, which often sit on the bench. Dedenne GX from Unbroken Bonds is quickly becoming one of the most powerful draw cards ever printed. 5 out of the top 8 Masters players list from the World Championships included Dedenne GX in their list for its powerful Day-Day Change ability. Day-Day Change allows players to discard their hand once during their turn and draw 6 cards when they play Dedenne from their hand to the bench. Non-supported draw has always been good in the Pokemon trading card game, and Dedenne GX is no exception, allowing players to craft game-winning strategies during their turn in combination with powerful draw supporters. The decks that did not play Dedenne GX in the top 8 of Masters Division all played Power Plant, a stadium card from Unbroken Bonds, which stops Pokemon GX abilities from working altogether. So the decks that didn't play Dedenne GX all tried to stop Dedenne GX with Power Plant. The card is that good. Dedenne GX was by no means the only successful Lightning-type Pokemon at the World Championships. Haruki Miyamoto of Japan was able to win the Junior Division title with his Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX deck. Pikarom also had a placement in the top 8 of the Masters Division and was generally considered to be one of the top threats heading into the World Championships. Now, Pikarom, that's a card. This card is definitely one of my favorites. I've been playing it for months, played it at Worlds. I mean, I'm a little bit biased, but this card has got the results to prove it. Full Blitz is an incredible attack, dealing 150 damage for 3 lightning energy. That damage can be boosted even further with the item card Electro Power, which boosts your damage output by 30 damage on the turn you play it for lightning type Pokemon. Full Blitz does 150, accelerates 3 lightning energy from your deck onto one of your Pokemon as well. Pretty easy to pull off with cards like Tapu Koko Prism Star, as well as Thunder Mountain Prism Star and Energy Switch once you get that full blitz going, you got a ton of energy in play, and the whole deck really opens up. Tagbolt GX becomes an option, which for 3 lightning energy does 200 damage, and if you have 3 extra lightning energy attached, you get to snipe 170 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. We were just talking about how good 170 snipe damage is with Naganadel GX. Imagine doing 200 damage to the defending and 170 damage snipe in the same time. It is very possible to take 5 and even 6 prize turns in just one attack with Tagbolt GX in combination with Electro Power. Pikarom also has a brand new partner in crime from Unified Minds in the form of Raichu and Alolan Raichu Tag Team GX, rocking a stellar 260 hit points, the highest amount of hit points for a Lightning type tag team Pokemon, and 2 phenomenal attacks. Raichu and Alolan Raichu takes Pikarom to a whole nother level. After Choice Band rotated out of standard format, it was tough for Pikarom to hit the numbers that it needed to with 270 hit point Pokemon all over the place. Raichu and Alolan Raichu solves that problem with ease. Lightning Ride GX for 2 lightning and a colorless deals 150 damage and allows you to switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Great for a hit and run strategy, but if you've got 2 extra lightning energy attached, you're dealing 250 damage. For just 5 energy, 250 damage is a ton. We talked about Electro Power being able to boost that damage very easily. For just 1 Electro Power, you can hit 280 damage and switch the Raichu and Alolan Raichu to the bench, which is a great strategy for setting up for future Tandem Shock attacks. Automatic Paralysis is crazy in the Pokemon trading card game. Very few cards have ever been printed with Automatic Paralysis, and very few with as easy of a clause to fulfill as Tandem Shock. If this Pokemon was on your bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, it does 80 more damage, and the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. So 160 damage and Automatic Paralysis. Very easy to fulfill with Zeraora GX from Lost Thunder, with its Thunderclap Zone ability, which gives all Pokemon with Lightning type energy attached to them free retreat. Pikachu and Zekrom is sure to be a great deck in the months to come in standard format, and definitely some cards to look out for from Unified Minds and Team Up. Now, I've talked quite a bit about decks that utilize Pokemon's abilities to see success at Worlds. However, 2 of the top 8 Masters list did not play any ability Pokemon in their decks. They relied on something called a Green's Exploration Engine. Green's Exploration is a supporter card from Unbroken Bonds that can only be played if you have no Pokemon with abilities in play. Great for Reshiram and Charizard decks, as well as Gardevoir and Sylveon. Even though there was no Gardevoir and Sylveon in the top 8 of the Masters division, 3 Gardevoir and Sylveon decks did finish in the top 16 of the World Championships in Masters division, utilizing Green's Exploration in their strategies. Green's Exploration searches for 2 trainer cards out of your deck. Great for grabbing cards like Power Plant or Welder, Fire Crystal. Anything in this deck can be searched out with Green's Exploration, and since you're using Power Plant to try and slow your opponent down, you really have turns and time to be able to forge that path forward, grabbing key cards like Reset Stamp on the turn that you want to use it to limit your opponent's hand to as few of cards as possible. Green's Exploration, definitely a great card for grabbing Custom Catcher as well. One of the only Gust effects in our current standard format with the rotation of Guzma. Custom Catcher, when you play 2 at a time, allows you to bring up any Pokemon on your opponent's side of the field into the active position. Green's Exploration, also great for using cards like Mixed Herb, which can heal 90 damage and a special condition when you play 2 at a time. Green's Exploration perfectly grabbing that 1 missing herb from your deck to play the 2 combo, the 1 Custom Catcher from your deck to play the 2 combo for game-winning turns, when combined with cards like Volcanion from Unbroken Bonds, which can use its Flare Starter attack to power up big Reshiram and Charizards on the bench. Green's Exploration, an awesome option for these Reshiram and Charizard decks, and obviously a successful strategy at the World Championships. Another great option to pair with Green's Exploration is Gardevoir and Sylveon Tag Team GX. Such a low maintenance attacker, you don't need any ability Pokemon to make this thing work. Fairy Song charges itself up. For 1 colorless, you search your deck for 2 Fairy Energy and attach them to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. Kaleidostorm does 150 damage, and you get to move your energy anywhere you like on your field, which is great for allowing the Gardevoir and Sylveons to heal themselves. You can play Super Scoop Up, pick up a damaged Gardevoir and Sylveon after using Kaleido Storm to move the damage to a protected Gardevoir and Sylveon on the bench. Moving that energy is fantastic because eventually you're going to want to build up a big Magical Miracle GX, which deals 200 damage, and if you have 3 extra fairy energy attached, you could shuffle your opponent's hand entirely into their deck. Phenomenal for hand disruption, phenomenal for shutting your opponent down. Whatever they were trying to do, removing their hand is going to make it much harder for them to do that, especially when you're using Green's Exploration to grab cards like Power Plant, shutting down their abilities, or Wondrous Labyrinth, another amazing card, which makes it so that all non-fairy Pokemon have to pay an extra energy card in order to use their attack. So lots of disruption options for Gardevoir and Sylveon. And Green's Exploration still doing the same old thing, grabbing the cards you need when you need them right out of your deck, since you don't actually need to play any ability Pokemon in these game-winning strategies. Well, that about does it for my World Championship recap video. Make sure to check out your local GameStop and GameStop.com, where you can find almost all these cards that I've been talking about, impacts from Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, and Team Up. You can also find sweet Pokemon merchandise like this t-shirt or this Rowlet or things like this dope little Pokeball thing that we got here. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to check out Tricky Jim on Twitch as well as YouTube to stay up to date with all things competitive Pokemon.